Okay, I'm back. Good afternoon. This is the underrated. This is my channel, the underrated dog. Yours truly, the underrated one, the number one grind. Yes, one of the best kept secrets on YouTube. Best of the business. Welcome, 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 welcome to the underrated afternoon talk. Five. We're gonna have this open conversation. Man or woman can get on. So, well, like I said, now man and woman can get on this one. You know? So welcome to the underrated afternoon talk five. Yep, yep. Yeah. So I hope everybody's doing okay. Earlier I did the underrated men's breakfast fellowship live. Did about 11. I got on a little late. I was there almost an hour and a half stuff. So just waiting like people to come on. Measly, thank you so much. Thank you. Shalom to you, brother. Thank you so much for the cash app. Very much appreciated. Got a little late. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Um, this one is gonna be Jimmy. It's gonna be man or woman can come on the panel. It's open. It's in the links out. So man, got everybody here. I know. Well, I'm in Virginia. It's like 48 degrees. Sun's staying. Come out a little bit. Yeah. Um, I want to let me thank. I forgot to thank. I want to thank everybody that, including you, brother Measley. Me. Thanks for the come. Thanks for coming this morning to be part of the conversation. Despite some stupidness happened, but Go Professor took care of that. But so I hope to be better. Okay, so we wait for some more people come through. Yeah. Ah, 8 more days. Trump be out. They trying to get him impeached. Hold on, family. Hold on, fam. I'm coming. There you go. Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. Great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, she if you want to get on, feel free. It's up to you. Man, I did a man's live earlier. Now man or woman could get on the panel. Okay. So how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Thanks for coming. Had you hear the story that I sent? Hey, foot soldier, how you doing? Glad you came back. Yeah, I'm live, she. Again, welcome to my channel, Underrated Doctor Yours Truth, the underrated one, the number one grinder. This is the underrated afternoon talk number 5. And we got community solutions.
Why
Uh,
do I have
go
an
ahead.
echo?
Yeah, but Echo, I don't know. It ain't for me. Let me see.
Oh, I see what it is.
Let's see what it is. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Tone Malone, what's good? How you doing, Sheila? Sheila, how you doing? I hope you got the link. You got the link. You can come straight to the panel. Come straight to the panel, Sheila. Sheed, I sent a link to your text. We got to come to the panel. Anybody else that want to come to the panel, let me know. We'll talk about. Oh, there he is. Okay. Right, brother Sheed.
What's going on? How you doing, Minister Luce?
Oh, pretty good. How's everybody on the panel doing? I was having a little snafu here.
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
I went. I ran into some little stuff earlier. That's why I wasn't able to get on this morning.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, man. Shayla, what's
Yes.
going on?
So
Hey,
Hello,
Sheila, how
Sheila,
you
hello
doing?
everybody.
Oh,
Sheila,
pretty
the
good.
what?
Pretty good.
All
Overworked
right.
and underpaid.
Man. Good. All right. All right. Okay. Has anybody had see the story that I sent?
Yeah, I seen
Uh,
it.
I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to read it. I was at work. Sorry about that.
What about you, Sheila?
I'll be
You talking
honest,
about
I
the
just woke
video with
up.
Willie D?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
that.
That one.
Yeah, cause I was
What?
lost when you were saying it, cause I kept looking through. I couldn't find the video, and then I had to go back and keep listening to the video. You said community tab. I think that's why I got it.
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts about it, bro?
Pretty much. I mean, it occurs all the time. Uh, teachers are always
Matter of
sleeping
fact,
with.
matter of fact, tell the people, the video that you saw, so these people can get abreast on what's going on, and then
Okay,
we could
pretty
take that.
much it was Willie D live. He was had a video about a teacher, I believe in Florida. I didn't actually remember the location, but it was a teacher that was supposed to be a tutor and was supposed to be helping like a young 15-year-old. And the thing of it was, the 15-year-old ended up having sex with the teacher, or which the tutor, and had the boy took pictures and videos of the lady, and the mom somehow found them, and what I'm saying, confronted the teacher about it, and ended up getting the police and everything involved. She was arrested, and somehow I guess her bond was dropped from whatever it was previous to 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
And he was explaining, Willie D was explaining to the extent of, raping a child and getting like 20, getting a bond of 2,500. That was kind of crazy. And he was also going into the effects of, when younger people kind of have sex at a young age, it starts to do something to them mentally, and I mean, as adults, we know the first time we either messed around and had sex or just in general, it it's a feeling that you always try to chase. The same as, people get high. Sex more or less is like a drug to certain people, to where all they want to do is just have it.
Yeah, that's awful. That's really awful. I don't know why they were so lenient on. Did she get any jail time or?
She actually went to jail, but I'm not sure because he didn't go into the breakdown. And this was 2018, and I think
Mm-hmm.
she's going back to court February of this year.
Yeah.
N- Now I wonder if they're making her register as a sex offender.
Majority of the time, yep. Normally when you do that and someone's up on age, but as far as the court processing, that's what they're focused on right now. But majority of the time when you do that, unless she has some type of, which I doubt, because the boy was at 15 years old, and he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have the right to consent at 15. Even at 16, he's still up on his parents. But
Right. Well, it's still with him being underage, I believe it constitute. I guess it depends on what state, because in the South, actually the age of consent is low for a lot of the
yeah,
states.
12.
Yeah, so I don't know. 15, 16, 17 is for some. I think 16 and 17 is most of them. I have to check the laws to see.
Yeah,
But yeah, because girls here get married early and they get pregnant early. So, but that's
But I
terrible.
would, yeah, but I would say this though that I want to talk more a little more about this because most of the time when they become sex offenders, they become lower grade sex offenders. So that means that they probably stay at a certain town for a few years, and then after that they go in the next town and they become a teacher again. Only they probably say you
mm,
cannot be around certain things. I know because I, I'm telling you, the court is not at times being fair.
he, she probably had to change her name because once your name on that paper, you done. I mean, I heard dudes and women having that same thing. The only way that they had, got it released from them from being sex offenders, they had to go and change their name. And I think that was something that they were trying to do for something else, but ultimately, once you have that astra over your name, it tends to follow you, male or female. I mean, because even like a police officer, if you're not charged, you can always go to another precinct and work. But when those charges come about, like I said, it's like when baseball, when you get caught with steroids, they put an astra over your name. That's how it is. You always carry that around you. Unless you
But
change your name, that's the only way.
yeah, but
And
what I'm saying this, brother, she and everybody else. Usually they get a slap on the wrist. They get a probation, and that's it. They do community service because this been happening out throughout the years. I just hope that this doesn't happen to her like that. But there are a lot of quite a few cases throughout the years. They get, like I said, they get probation.
yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff when it's hidden, that happens like that all the time. I
Hmm.
mean, you hear majority cases where a lot of people go into situations like that, they get slaps on the wrist because it's not publicized. Because I seen an incident in Florida where a guy he got a slap on the wrist for murder. The dude got 5 months in jail. And then when we know the news and everybody got a hold of it and start spreading it, and you can't get double jeopardy, but it was other charges that he had to where they can actually recharge him.
Yeah, I think every state is different because in Louisiana they they embarrass the heck out of you. You got a big old red banner on your license and you they put your picture in the paper.
Yep.
So you know um yeah, I think every state is different. Like the jurisdictions is different, but I certainly hope that that she gets punished for that because that's not right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crazy part that is happening more and more, and I mean, the punishments to be, I mean, because it's more or less the slap on the wrist. That's why I think it's still going on to the point where certain teachers in certain situations that it tends to be a slap on the wrist to where a lot of them are doing it because in most cases, a lot of these teachers are not that emotionally unstable or needing that much of a detention to where they let these either young kids mess. Because majority of the time, I've been in high school and a lot of these teachers don't really pursue a lot of the kids. They make it their goal to kind of step in sometime to, pursue the teachers. And, as an adult, you should be the one not willing and trying to give into temptation
Mhm.
because I mean it happens a lot. I mean, when I was in high school, I what was it? About two kids I know that had sex with teachers, female teachers,
Hmm.
and it was about two dudes. I know they got hauled off. One of them was a basketball coach, and the other one was a football coach. And nobody, we assumed that the basketball teacher had did something because he would always have like certain students over his house watching his kids and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we knew about him, but even with the female teachers, nobody never really knew. But you had those assumptions because they were always just being nice to
Hmm.
a certain extent. But the male teachers, you knew that off the bat because of the way they kind of carried themselves. But with the female teachers, nobody really never knew, and the dudes that did do it, they was hush about it. We graduated out of school, and that's when everything came about. So that's the only reason the guy said something because he graduated. I think we was about 2 years out before he any really told somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad because
But
that right there is not really being said and pushed on the rug when it comes to our young black males. And I know in New York, I had to come up with a proposal that the teachers had to have a dress code because when I was running for board education, I'm walking in the high school, I couldn't tell the teachers from the students the way they would
Hmm.
dress.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a teacher, you supposed to back in our days, our teachers would dress real conservative. They wearing their suits, pantsuits, their dresses and stuff. I mean, these teachers was wearing this shirts you could see their boobs, the skirts was real. I mean, they were dressed like teenagers.
Hmm.
mhm. Yeah, I could tell you one. I could tell you one time. Like when I used to live in New York, was where it was a guy named James, and so the parents said when you go to PTA meeting for us and everything to represent, I said, well, I had a little time, and so I went, and I said, James, what's up with this? He said, man, he said, look. I said, that's a student. No, that's my teacher. You see what I'm talking about? She had on like a suit, and the mini skirt was so high that even when she bent down, you could see her thongs. And I said, that's not appropriate dress as a teacher. Well, nobody cannot tell me how to dress. I'm teaching. No, how the person could teach? How you could say something like that? But the sad thing about it that you got administration, they back them up. So they don't care for students. And I just shake
Yeah.
my head. I say they back them up. And so that's why I always tell parents all the time, especially that you deal with boys and everything. You gotta check. You gotta check because I know because I seen it myself. They wear low cut. like somebody said, the titties is out. They had a bra on, all lace around it. Sometimes they have all all kinds of stuff and colored hair and everything. And they said, "Well, it's my right. It's my right." I was like, "Yo,
And it still go back holding us accountable, the adults, especially dealing with kids in the inner city. That's what my heart go out to, you
hmm
know. And like I said, really a lot of programs we had for the girls, the females, but hardly none for the males. So we had to come up with some. And underrated, the topic you talking about, that's not being addressed, you know.
'Cause that's
Um,
how I lost actually one of my scholarships in the high school. I was going to a college and they had to drop the program for like the equal rights for boys and girls sports, and that was one of the scholarships I was counting on. I was going to what was it, Norfolk in Virginia.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah." I do talk about it in the past on my channel, but I get pushback.
It
They
doesn't
changed it.
matter. You need to talk
I know,
about it
I know,
again.
I know,
Hmm.
but that's what I'm saying. I keep on talking about it, but I'm just letting you know, I get pushback, so that's why I got to keep on talking about it because people don't want to deal with it. It's always a change of conversation. It always said, "What about?" No, we sticking to the conversation. And
And
my thing is, go.
like I was saying too, and when I was talking, me and the mayor and a couple of people, cause she a history teacher, and I said now the school is out. Do y'all ever think about it that sometimes when these kids go to school, this is like their refuge. It's like saving them just to get away. Do you ever look at some of those kids the way they're living, going their homes, they're not eating, or they getting abused, sexual, mentally, physically, and going to school is just their way to just get away from everything. And a lot of people like, wow, that to me, and I ain't never look at it like that. Sure, I was like, yes, because we have 30% teenager homeless kids in the high school, and that's
Wow,
high.
that is very high.
That's high.
Yeah, because I know when I was coming up, when I was going to school. Again, it's not picking on the women. I'm going by what I know, what I see. It was this young boy. Every time we took the school bus together, and I know it's every time because the their parents was divorced, but it seems like when he could get around with the father, he is so happy with his stepmoms because he got remarried. But when the mother comes, he said, please don't let me get off the bus. I said, what are you talking about? And then I really start seeing it. Then I told my late parents about it, and they said, I said, Mom and Dad, look, you gotta come here 2 days straight and stuff. So my mom's like, my father, so he seen himself. He said, Francis, you need to come the next day. Something don't look right, and it's true. Every time, like she dropped him off, he actually run to the class. I'm gonna call him. I'm not gonna say his name. We're gonna call him Ed. And Ed, he always sit right next to me. And he said, I don't wanna. I don't want to go with my mom. I said, well, what are you talking about? You want to go with mom? Then he go to the principal office to call his father, and then when he pick him up, he's so happy. And I just noticed that it was just one day. It was like I never forget this. He said, Jerry. I said, what? What's going on, Ed? My pee pee hurt. Huh? My pee pee hurt. Please don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody 'cause they ain't gonna believe me. I said, you gotta tell somebody. Who doing this to you? Everybody think it's my daddy do, but I don't live with my daddy. I live with mommy and stuff. And like I said, oh. I said, so I said, you gotta tell somebody. And I remember we was like, I never forget the teacher. Her name was Miss Watts. And I told her, I said, no, we gotta tell. So I don't want to be in a home and stuff. And he said, no, don't worry about it. And I just know the mother came up that day to pick them up from school on lunchtime. And all I just know, it was cop cars all around. And I never forget it was this white cop said, don't even worry about it. It's over. He was a sergeant too. And I looked, I said, make sure you take care of him. He said, don't even worry about it, it's over. And the mother said, what is you talking about? Oh yeah, you been raping him. We taking you down. And I remember the father came up there, and I remember he was in the school for like 2 more weeks, and then they moved somewhere down south. And I said, well, I'm glad he was all right. But that's not the first incident that I see. I see quite a few incidents like that in my lifetime. And most of the time, the kids get sick. Nobody don't believe them. The women get a greater murder, and some end up committing suicide because the system has failed. And that's why part of my purpose, I've been fighting for the little
Mm,
boys ever since I
yes.
was a pre-teen. And it's a must. I had to fight for them because I
Yeah.
seen it. I lost best of friends while the women walk in the street and cause ruckus. And they see, and then sometimes, and the sad thing about it, some in our community they just turn their head. But when a man do it, they up in arms. I agree. I agree. You should be well up and up. But when it seems that way, and then they come to find out, they go to the next town. They do the same thing. They go to the next neighborhood. They do the same thing, and it hurts. And it hurts because you cannot do nothing about it. You got the system that fails you, and they know it too. And that's why when people say, "Oh, it doesn't go on," yes, it does. It happens a lot more now. Oh, you Google it, and it seems like the kids getting younger and younger and younger. That's why I
Right.
go hard. That's why I go hard because you know what I'm saying. Sheila as a mother, and
Yes.
you know community solutions as you know as a black woman, you been in the public. Where's the rest of everybody? Where's the rest of the sisters at? Where's the rest of the mothers at? I want to know why you don't want to do no stories like that. Why? And it pissed me off. So I had to do those stories like that because this keep on happening. You know, yeah, no. So let's stop changing the subject. No, I'm done changing the subject. And even there are some black men that have are content creators. They don't even want to do stories like that. I mean, BMT, he do it, but majority of them they don't want to do it. Those your boys, right? I said those could be your sons, your nephews or something. You mean y'all don't want to talk up for it? Nah, you an enemy. You an enemy. And I don't care what they hear from me. I could lose subs over that. I don't care. You're an enemy. If you're not willing to talk of our young boys and these women doing the same thing all the time. And you know what they do? Oh, she's sick. She decides you have to help. But she raped boys in the community for years. Oh, you gotta understand. She pressure. She's and nothing don't go her way. But rape your own son? That's okay? Nah, I'm going hard. I'm in the battle. And I gotta keep on doing it. Got to. Even if I had to do, I'm not. I mean, I got few people. I'm not gonna say I don't,
Hmm.
but I gotta go hard. I gotta stop them. Do whatever I can. So y'all could build on that.
Now I'm just saying when that movie Antoine Fisher came out,
Hmm.
a lot of young boys had exposed the foster care system in New York, and they try to push it under the rug and stuff. And that's why I say, you know what the end of the day is, we talk about things that really not impact and just foolishness. But when it comes down to things that really, need to be addressed, it's not. Laws need to be set in places and stuff, in which some of us do, but we need more help and stuff because after a while it get tired. You got the same old people fighting the same old fight, you know, and it's not our kids, it's not our family, but still we have a heart to go out there and advocate for our people. But it's sad the same ones we advocating for, those the same ones who fight against us, you know? But then I look at it, these is our babies. They ain't asked to be here. They ain't asked to be abused. And I feel like this, if you see something, hear something, if you ain't saying nothing, you just bad that person who doing it.
Hmm.
And it's sad. It's really sad. There's a lot of talk and no action. And that's why I do what I do. Because the end of the day is, like I said, if I could just change one person's life, whatever I'm doing is not in vain. And no, it's not easy. It's not easy advocating for people in the inner city. And that's why a lot of people don't want to do it because it's not easy,
Hmm.
you know. But still, somebody had to stand up for what's right.
I just, I mean, before other ones on the panel, yeah, I want y'all to engage in the chat too. Y'all can. I just tired the conversation keep on changing. I like that we talk about this, and it should be very dear to all of us. We should advocate this more. It shouldn't, like Sheila said, it shouldn't sweep on the rug and community solutions. Nah, that's worse. And I'm just saying, and I know black men, you gotta talk more about this too. You gotta bang on it. But black woman, god damn it. What the fuck you excuse my language, what the fuck you think you are? What the fuck you think you are? You don't even want to talk, you don't even want to say anything about this. What is wrong with you? And I'm talking about some. And even it goes to black men too. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Oh, long as my kids ain't being touched. Okay. You never know. Black woman, when you have a young son, if you have a older friend, you have a best friend, watch out how she react to your sons. That is young. And she if the son sit in her lap for limited time, that is a red flag. If she take him to the store, that is a red flag. If she asks him that she's going to come spend the night, there's no kids around, that is a red flag. Definitely is a red flag that she asks him to sleep in the bed with her. That's a red flag. She pick him up from school. That's a red flag. Every time she want to go on the trips, that's a red flag. Y'all gotta pay attention, even brothers too. Y'all gotta pay attention in these signs here.
And see, they ain't paying attention because it's not affecting them. And I noticed that. Once it ain't affecting their household and their family, they don't care. And it's sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, that's true. We got to be more community minded and more collective minded. Um yeah, I've talked to several men over my lifetime that, confided in me that happened to them with a woman. And that they experienced the same hurt. A lot of people think, oh, that's, they want to high five them. Oh, that's good. This, that, and the other. No, 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 no. They had something that was taken away from them. You know what I'm saying? Just like the girls. So I don't think it's right. And I'm very much a child advocate. I don't have kids, but underrated. I very much be in these streets trying to
Yes.
help these kids that nobody is fighting for. The
Even Sheila,
throwaway kids.
even Sheila does too.
Hmm.
And those
Yeah.
is your kids, the one you fighting for.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Because you know what, we gotta love them under whatever belief we have, system we have, and we also have to remember that we have to live here when they grow up. What's that
Co-
old African saying that the child that doesn't feel the love of the village will burn it down to feel the warmth, or something like that. I'm getting it wrong.
I know what you're saying. My
Yeah.
grandmother used to say that.
Yeah.
let me add, brother She. After that, I want you to get into it too, because as a father, I want you to bring your perspective in, and then again, let's keep it. Let's keep this conversation the same. No switching up. I ain't talking about the one on the panel. I'm talking about the one in the chat, because I'm keeping an eye. I'm just saying. So if you know anybody that's trying to change conversation, it ain't happening. Only unless I change, the only ones who gonna change conversation, it is me. But we gonna stick on this conversation. But I want to ask you, as black, y'all two, y'all been in our community and stuff. Why? How I say this? Why it's harder for y'all to talk about this? Because I know it has to be frustrating. Because I know y'all see for yourself. How do we make sure that this conversation, that we keep this conversation going, to hold some of these women accountable, and to understand the signs and stuff that we all talk about?
Well, I think the men will have to come forward and speak up about, because men hold it in when it happens to them. A lot of times they hold it in. You see panels all the time with women talking about how they were molested or abused or whatever, but men don't come forward and
Yeah.
voice their, what has happened to them, so that we can put it on the table and look at it, and try to fix it.
Okay,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
yeah, but what I can say about that though. I can
What?
answer that. We don't have no platforms. We don't have no avenues to really talk about it. I'm telling you from personal experience.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't, and its delivery is really happening like that too. That's what I was saying. I know some young men had committed suicide. I know, because there's nobody, there's no safety net for them. So this is the thing that we got to develop
Can I
a
say something after you finish?
yeah, of course. So we got to develop a safety net, and like you say, that's true. Man got to step up. But it's just frustrating. It really is. You can go ahead.
Okay, what I was saying, um, and I'm just going by what I do is I take
Hmm.
advantage of every situation I'm in. I bring it up through nonprofit organizations. We're at the
Hmm.
school programs where our little males at, majority of them when they play basketball, stuff like that. I'm bringing that up at their board. I'm bringing up at the board education meetings. I'm bringing up at the city council meetings. Um, I'm bringing up to activity meetings anywhere when it we have meetings concerning our babies. That's why I'm bringing up that because that's why our babies at.
Hmm.
Like I said. You had ones who sit up there, coaches do the same thing. You thinking they just taking to them because they're a father figure? I mean, Boy Scouts. Let's not be naive. Churches, like I said, a lot of this stuff been pushed under the rug concerning our young boys. You know, and so that's why I started making my voice be heard through the non-profit organizations where the mothers working at the school programs. Let's hit the board education meetings. Now everything is on Zoom. There's no excuse. You could Google it and let you know when is your meetings and everything. Cause it's still going on. Only thing they're doing it on Zoom. And like I said, get to know your elect officials. What ward you in? Get to know people on your school board. If you have kids, go to the PTA meetings. You know, get to know different nonprofit organizations going on in your community, your town, your city, wherever you live at. That's how you do. You start with the groundwork and look and let your voice be heard. And start being on these meetings and start getting on these boards and stuff.
Hmm. Cool. Okay, brother She.
Yeah, I'm here. But
Okay, I
yeah,
just want to get it from your father for the father's perspective.
yeah, pretty much, um, in a sense with boys, because we're taught to actually deal with women in a certain way, and we kind of look at it more as a badge of honor growing up, like my era. This era is more or less being shamed more and brought to the light, but back in the day, it was a badge of honor, to kind of like a notch on your belt. And you didn't think that this was something wrong. You didn't like feel as if you had something innocent or something taken from you. So it kind of really played off as nothing to boys. The only person that the only people that really got that sense of something was done wrong to them was females. You know, because even like with nowadays, the boys are now looking at it, and still, like I said, it's happening because a lot of guys are still looking at it as it being something, that it's like a notch on your belt compared to
Mm-hmm.
knowing that the things that are going on right now, you shouldn't be going through this. Whether you're 15, 10, 8, whatever, you know, because even youngest, what certain ages of 10 or something like that. Well, I would say even younger than that, the ages of 5, when kids are watching more adult cartoons or just, bigger cartoons, they're showing like different actions on having sex within the cartoons, you know, different gender programming in these cartoons now. So when the boys are actually seeing this for the first time, and then you might hear someone talk about it or watch even an older movie, you think there's nothing wrong with it. Like the kids now, as a young kid, we all seen people kissing and thought that, it was kind of yucky and stuff like that. But as you got older, you would hear the men always be talking about how they mess with women, so ultimately, that's what you wanted to do when you grew up. You didn't want to be the guy that was left out, you know. And now that we're understanding that what happened to us wasn't a good thing, because when it comes down to it, you had those kids that something happened to them and they knew something wasn't right, but you had your friends telling them, well, this is okay and this is cool because that makes you a man by doing it, but it didn't. Like I said, the over sexualized towards the men, we didn't know because all we thought that dealing with females and stuff was the thing to do. And over time, we started noticing, we would have these different urges and different feelings and kind of put ourselves in different light, and it took a toll on us. Because even with my younger boys, I generally don't even like you know them spending the night over certain people's house, even with family. It's to an extent where I pretty much have been around certain family members and known them, been around them personally so many times and see how they, kind of move a certain way that I would even generally let them be around them people because,
Mhm.
I have an aunt. She's cool, and I wouldn't kind of put it say that she wouldn't do that, but you never know. And when you're dealing with your family, you got to have that kind of perception that ultimately that no one is innocent from doing that. Everybody is pretty much to the extent almost guilty of messing with your child. Not saying that even with your mother, you would have to have that kind of mindset to where you know that when you take your kids around other people, that they're being safe, because ultimately if you give up any little sense that your cousin, the aunt, or let us in with your daughter, your uncles and stuff like that, majority of the time that's when it happens. When you least expect it, you have even in school, you have kids want to go over teachers' houses and stuff like that. I went over my teacher's house as a young kid. My grandma, she was the type, she would never do nothing like that. But to an extent, she's all came up there to the school, met with the teacher before several times, and knew what type of person she was. But even with that being said, it still could have happened.
Mhm.
So it's like you never know when it comes to these instances. So you got to use more like better judgment. Because like I said, as girls, when it get done to the girls, more or less, that's when the punishment and everything occurs. But when it's done to the boys, a lot of times you don't see it because, like I said, it's a badge of honor. They look at it as you're growing up when it happens to you. And that's the biggest thing. Because even I have 9-year-old boys, and with them, you know, it's not saying that I'm not gonna ever let them go around certain family members, but it comes to an extent where they pretty much are around me all the time. And even if they want to go to a family member house and spend the night, if there's not kids over there, I tend to don't want to even do that. Like with their great grandmother, yeah, I let them go over there. The grandmother, to a certain extent, I know them and I know how well they behave and I know, their demeanor. But when it comes to, other family members, if I haven't socialized with you and I haven't met you at least a couple of times to kind of see your mood, to see even how you interact with kids that run around. Because ultimately, people who have kids, they tend to bring their kids around to other kids. And if something was to happen, you would have all the kids know about it versus just you taking them by themselves or taking them with, just your kids over there. Because you do have, play family members that kind of watch the kids, excuse me, while you go out. And so you tend to say, they're a good person, they're good people. But if you haven't known them over the years and see how they interact with kids, you will never know.
Mm.
I mean, that's the thing when it comes to the man or the female. You never know. So, it's just a precaution for all. I mean, school, like I said, it happens more than usual due to the fact that, staying after school, and a lot of these kids do press these teachers, but it goes without question that, you're an adult. You should have more values and morals of protecting yourself by not even getting into that foolishness. Because as a child, you're gonna do, what you think. Like I said, well, most of those kids, they're doing it in a sense to, entice these teachers. But then you have some that don't do that. Because I mean, even with that situation with the young boy, you know, it wasn't like a one-time thing where he kind of, more or less was raped. To the extent they kind of pursued each other. I mean, you can hear from the video as him being the teacher, the tutor. That tutor was around that boy a lot. So it was quite some time to where she was around him so many times, and they took several pictures. Like the news article talked about several pictures being together. It comes to the point where both of them have to take just for it. Now I can understand to the extent where that teacher did what she did, and it was not called for. But you got to also look at that young man because you have certain instances where teachers are raping kids, and that stuff is not being reported to a certain degree, and that's wrong right there. You
Hmm.
have those boys, they get raped and they're uncomfortable around people. You get those girls who get raped and they're uncomfortable around people. But like I said, it's gonna start taking a toll for the teachers getting harsher punishments because it's gonna continue happening. It's been happening since I was in school, and like I said, to me, I don't think it's never gonna stop because the punishments are not no sit down rough enough. I mean, look at this lady getting a $2,500 bond. Ultimately, she can go to a bond company and get that. What is it like? If that was her bail, and the bond would be like what, $250, somewhere around in there.
Hmm. Yeah, something like
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as a teacher, she should have that money in her bank account.
That's true. And it's sad, but there's places in this country where folks are locked up because for shoplifting, and they
Yeah.
have a higher bond.
Hmm.
That's really
That's
sad.
that's really tough. Let me read this first on the screen. And I want to thank the ones who was on the panel and everybody that engaged. And we're gonna switch the conversation up in a few minutes and everything. And I really appreciate that you take the time. Read this. We read this. Come enjoy a real conversation with the underrated one. Us as the righteous ones. Individually, let's make a change within ourselves and genuine. Be there for each other. We all we got. Remember that. We all we got. JT. Y'all can continue. I just need to read it off.
If you would like to, like the we could start something once a week, and also I had did a research where a teachers it was three teachers and a student when they had a threesome, similar like the story you had, but reason why this one got caught because the young boy was telling everybody.
Mm,
And then don't you know, out of three of those teachers, only one got charged
mm,
because the other two, one her father was a lawyer and the other one was a judge. And the
mm.
one was less fortunate. That's the one who had to do the time.
Mm.
They gave her 5 year probation and 6 months.
That's
Wow.
awful.
And she lost her teacher license. But the other two, nothing.
And I'm gonna say one thing too. And majority of the women that rape these little boys, right? They married, and you got their husband saying, "No, it ain't no way they could do that." So I ain't mean to sound funny or anything, but well, I'm gonna say it anyway, homie. You must not doing the job or something, and then you accepting this, especially you have kids. So
So
sometimes these men are. Mm,
Yeah,
well, you got
I thought about that earlier. That a lot of the cases I saw, they had husbands. That's crazy.
yeah.
yeah, but like I said, you got to understand. With most of these kids, they're pursuing these teachers, you know, because ultimately, just in general, these kids are not. I mean, these kids are not. They shouldn't be getting off the hook. Majority of them too, because even though, like I said, these teachers are wrong for what they're doing. Majority of these boys are, so-called enjoying these things with the teachers. Like I said, for some of these teachers that are messing with these kids, you can see the abuse when they're hiding it in shame. Someone younger, but these older kids, like that boy was 15. With him taking the pictures and doing all what he's doing, most of these kids are pressing these teachers. You know, that's just like even as an adult. There's a certain woman that you're interested in. If I'm interested in a woman, And I'm always, she works with me, and I'm always saying, hey, trying to buy her food, impress her, do certain things. Eventually, she breaks and say, well, I'm just going to go out. Even though she don't want to, she does it anyway. In most cases, this is what's going on with a lot of these teachers. But like I said, they know that they shouldn't be doing this, but it don't make it right. But the
I
whole
hear
point
you.
of it is,
But
it's from both angles. I'm looking at this from both angles. Like the
but
Yeah,
you
ones
know,
that
but
are really,
no,
but we
go
I'm
don't
look,
want
go.
to focus on the ones who we want to focus on the ones who's not the innocent ones, the
yeah,
ones
that's what
who's
I'm talking
not.
about.
Yeah, we okay. We know there is some young guys in the school, high school and junior high do come on to the teachers, but we looking at the innocent ones, the ones who the teachers coming on to them. Those the one we want to target. Like they had the Me Too movement. What about me movement? The Antoine Fisher movement. And see,
Yeah,
that's why I was saying we need a movement for our males, our young males, because their voice is not being heard. You know, who
yeah,
believe them? Oh, oh, y'all like it, y'all male, whatever. No, they don't. Some of them can't even quote, with that mentally. They gotta be on medication. Oh, you a boy. You ain't supposed to show your feelings. You ain't supposed to cry. Come on.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, to the extent of the younger kids that this stuff is happening to. These teenagers, like I said, it's more of a norm to them. But the younger ones, those are the ones that we need to be focused on and help with the cry of help. Because like I said, my boys at their age they're at, they're at their most vulnerable because they don't know. And when you have people prey on them at that age, that's when the mental shock hits them. Because these younger people, when that mental shock hits them at that age, that's when the deception of their mind starts kicking in. And like I say, over time, that's when that like more like a sexual deviance thing done came over to them, to where they don't know what happened to them. They're mentally, unstable with it, because it comes to a point of just like being raped. Why me?
but you know
Why
what,
this happened to me?
okay, I got you. But you know what, brother She, I've been at this for a long time. I don't care if you're 8 years old or 7 years old, you're 15 years old, you're still a child. And I hear what you're saying, but I want you to understand where I come from. I've been hearing this conversation ever since 77 that would happen to me. And I'm 54 years old right now. Be 55 in a few months. And the sad thing about it, now, not saying you, not saying you, but now if a young man is 15, he could deal with it. He's still a child. Because I'm gonna tell you this, and it would have been vice versa. And I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about us in the chat and us in the panel. And I'm talking about outside. It would have been much more different. So let's not kid ourselves here. A child is a child. And I don't care what adult is. You, to me, I don't care. You need to get dealt with. You know what you're doing. And I can tell you, most of the time, these teachers is coming on to these boys, and they make it seem that these boys come on them. They invite them to the house, have liquor, make believe they go over homework with them. They do sexual acts, sometimes in front of the kids. Sometimes they tell her, if you say anything, I make sure you don't get that scholarship. I make sure that your grade's gonna be low. So When the child acts up, and I'm talking about 15, 16-year old, they act out in a funny, precarious way, and administration is very slow dealing with this. Who do you think the administration is going to believe? Who they going to believe? They're not going to believe the child. They're going to believe that no good teacher.
You right. You right because it's like the a teacher club. One thing about the teacher union, they stick up with each other, and that's why I said they need to be held accountable. That's why they didn't want me in that seat because they know a lot of them were gonna lose their job. Let me tell you, son, there's a lot of rules and regulations is down on the education system. Like they ain't supposed to have a relationship with each other. Two teachers or the teacher, principal, or the superintendent or even with the students. I don't care if a student did come on to a teacher. She violating the law. Each parent get a book when a child come home for school. The first day of school is a policy book. In that policy books tell you all the rules and regulations. It go down to the administration, the superintendent, principal, all the way down to the students, guidance counselor, coaches, everything. And a lot of parents do not read that book. And like I tell them, read that book. That is your second Bible. And like
Okay.
they always say, if you want to hide something from us, put it in a book.
Okay. Go, Professor. If you want to come up, if you're welcome, it's up to you. Um, let's talk about solutions. Community solutions. What's a solution? What we need to start off at, and each
Yeah.
everybody else can get a chance.
That's
Um,
what go ahead. Let community.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Sheila.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I would say platforms like yours, if you want to just like start group with men who are willing to come forward, because that's going to be key and crucial. Men who are willing to come forward, concerned parents, y'all come together and you kind of table the things that will protect your children, help protect your children. Like for example, in this poor neighborhood over here, um, there are lots of offenders in that neighborhood, and um, I have a hard time trying to get parents to cooperate. Um, as far as like coming up with things like buddies walking together, like kids almost always kind of watching their backs, not each other's backs, and stuff like that. If we can come up with, first of all, if the men can come together and put all everything on the table in regards to what has happened to you, get your therapy on, and then how do we stop this? Because that's really how it's gonna. We got to have people that come out and speak against it and start to fight and legislate for, like Sheila was saying, legislate for change. Because it's not going to be any change if people are not punished. Like she was saying about the case where the people knew the judge and the attorney and they had a little bit more money. See, that type of stuff has to stop. Otherwise, those people go right back out and do it again. And you got people like Sandusky in Philly. I think that was either Philly or Pittsburgh or something, who had hundreds of victims. So
Oh, you
that's
talking about Penn?
disgusting.
You talking about Penn State?
Yeah, yeah, Sandusky. Yeah, so that's disgusting. The man had hundreds of victims,
But
and
see
just
this, Amy Cuz, but this is the thing about it. He got paid for that. He paid dearly for that, and rightfully so.
yeah, but look at how much damage he did.
Yeah, that's true.
Those kids are probably out on the street. They have sexual confusion. That's why I stopped judging the that community, because I said, I then when I got exposed to all the things that happen as an EMT. You got
Hmm.
foster children who get these medications pushed on them. They experiment on them, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes they put them in juvenile with the criminal children because they don't have room to put them anywhere. So I kind of got kind of a big picture of what was really happening.
Hmm.
And that's why I said we're going to need the men to come out, because nobody can help you if you don't talk about it, right? So
Yeah,
that's
but
the first thing.
yeah,
Women are always talking about it, but men like you, there are some men like you, but it's not a lot of them that'll talk about it. They hold it in.
yeah, because we do not have avenues to go to. We do not have resources. We got to have resources to talk about. That's why we hold days in. And I think that is another conversation that we refuse to have. I know because I deal with personal experience, and also I seen this happen. There's no resources. Then if you go to therapy, you know what they go tell you? Oh, you just making it up. It can't happen. So you just look at it. I thought you were supposed to help me. Like, so everything is combining on you. See, as for me, I said whatever it is, I gotta break that cycle anyway, cause that person ain't gonna have no, they gonna take no charge of my life. So I gotta keep on fighting. But we gotta have resources, more resources for us. So when it be accessible, we don't have to be judgmental. They don't have to be
Hmm.
judgmental, but at the same time, it gotta be a swift punishment.
Well, New York passed a law. Governor Cuomo passed a law in New York that now it's like a murder charge, no limitation. So you still, whatever happened to you when you was young, you could still bring that person up on charges. That
Okay,
law been
that's good.
passed in the state of New York. So now it need to be passed in every other state. So if you 50 years old and something happened to you when you was 3 or 4 until you was 10 and that person's still living, you could bring that person up on charges.
That's good.
And if you
That's
was
good.
living in the state of New York and you moved, you still could bring that person up on charges because at the time it was happening, you was living in the state of New York.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And see,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. When we were sitting up there, um, like I said, no, it's the way we had to do this. Put the bullhorn down, whatever. We got to start sitting at the table, changing these laws and these policies. Now we had that law in the state of New York.
At least
So
we
what
want
you
to.
could do now, you could start your platform. You could use your Facebook. You could use YouTube.
Uh-huh. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Yes. No, my daughter just came and interrupted me. Yeah. So you could use social media, your platform, and
Hmm.
get you a group of people, same mind, like, and just come up with a name and just start having meetings and stuff, and start reaching out to other kids and stuff. Other parents, and you never know who going through the same thing or who child went through the same thing, and they hear you and want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So
Because
before we could.
yeah,
Oh, go, go, no, go, go, go.
no, I'm just saying. So you saying where we start at? S- Start right here on your social media.
Well, I've been doing this for a while anyway, but yeah, I understand you absolutely right. Before we continue, anybody that wants to donate, I do got a cash app. It's dollar sign capital JT 53000. Also, I had a PayPal account. Um, that's forward slash PayPal.me forward slash all in caps JT Black 53. Okay, or if you don't have that, they'll do have super chat. And also, if you don't have none of that, you can always hit the like button and share it. Share it throughout through your social media. The more knows this, the better it is. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna switch it up the conversation a little bit. We're gonna talk more about this in the near future. So I will welcome Community Solutions and Sheila because there's a lot more layers that goes through it and strategically. So I'm definitely gonna invite the I'm gonna invite them back on the panel in the near future, and we're gonna talk more about this. Now we're gonna talk about Trump. Got 8 more days. They trying the second time around. They trying to impeach them. We knew what happened this past uh, a few days ago. Um, the America is on fire, and Joe Biden be think of 10 days, it'd be 9 days. Become instead of president elect, he become president of the United States, become the 46th president. And after all that is going on, we actually that black people again in the bottom. So we're gonna start from community solutions. What's your take on it, please?
Um, well, when I saw that, the first thing I thought was, wow, these folks are in there uh, legislating law or creating bills and stuff like that, and they're not heavily armed or protected. Um, when I went to the White House to just to take a picture when Obama was there, looked like I had to stand 5 miles away. It was all cordoned off just to take a picture. So I was just surprised that they were so vulnerable in there. And then I was looking at Michael, is it Michael Moore, the one who did Columbine? I think it's Michael Moore, the filmmaker. He said his friend is a senator, and he was in there. He's a senator from Flint. He's from Flint, Michigan, and said he was in there and told everybody to take their congressional pin off so that they didn't know who to shoot because they had gunfire. Somebody had their camera phone up and they were shooting. So my first thought was that, wow, so our people up there that's making laws that's governing our lives are up there vulnerable and open. So you
Hmm.
just showed the whole world how easy it is to get in there and get at them.
Right.
That was my first thought. Then you know, what I think they're bringing everybody. Are they bringing everybody up on treason? And when I was looking, they would like, looking for the people that they can identify.
Hmm.
So it's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Mm.
I'll give up the floor.
Give up the floor. Wow. You sound like a judge. Okay. Sheila E. Your take.
My take on that, in some ways, like I said, we could learn from it. They was doing what they believe in. Um, they feel that the government wasn't going their way, so they had to take actions in their own hands. even I ain't like the way they did it, but they was just letting me know that we not playing. If y'all like it or not, we don't like what you did. So my opinion, if that was any other race, I don't think they would have got that close. I'm not putting race in it, but I think if it was any other race like black, they wouldn't have got that close. Again, the people letting them know that they're tired of different laws, different schemes, everything. And I only think that's just the beginning. Cause now I just think they use that for example. Now I think they're gonna start hitting each state. I think we just seen the beginning with that. That's just my opinion.
Okay. And Biden.
And buying, I think that was a mockery. I don't know why they put that man in office. Him and her. Um, really, that was a smack in the face to all the blacks. The law he did in 1994, and then her background, what she done did to our brothers, and really, that was disgrace to our ancestors and to ourselves. They even allow him to be in office. He had not reversed that law to this day. He apologized, but yet, how many people done took their lives? How many innocent lives is 6 feet under because of that bill he signed against our people? And
Mm.
like I said, this ain't the beginning. They ain't see nothing yet when it come to him.
Oh no.
They ain't see nothing yet. And I hate to say that, but they voted for that man, and I'm sorry, but you know what? They that was a stupid move. Our people need to stop voting so emotional and start really voting realistic. Because the end of the day is they had no platform they was running on concerning black people. And that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. We never hold people accountable. We always run off our emotional assuming what they're gonna do for us. Watch what happens. Watch.
Mm. Okay. I want to thank everybody that came. Cause I'm gonna close this out. I want you to stay right there. I want to thank. Let me name everybody. Measly Me. Shout out to the LDBC. That stands for Lions Den Boxing. Also basketball community. Shalom to you, Measly Me. We here. Thanks, brother, for coming on to the panel. Thank you for your input. Very much appreciate for Soldier. Thank you so much for coming back. I'll get to you, Sheila E. Tom Malone. Thanks for coming, brother. Bruce Ghost. That's my LDBC fan right there. Thanks for coming, brother. Um, Let me read this from Fuso. She said the courts are way too easy for women. Absolutely. You're absolutely right on that. Go Professor. Thanks for showing up the second time around. Thank you. Honey, Tina. Thank you for coming, sweetie. I really appreciate that. Brother CCER Senior 00. Thanks for coming, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. And now I'm gonna thank on the panel. Thank you, Community Solutions, and thank you, Sheila E. And
Yeah.
Community Solutions, you can make your last remarks. Then Sheila, then I want you to stay right there. Then we're gonna close it out together.
Just looking forward to what you're going to be working with in regards to the men who are victims of the sex abuse. Uh, if you're going to be opening up groups or anything like that, or if you want to speak with representatives, get some more men to y'all form like a therapy group or something like that, just let me know. Um, because I'm sure I could probably get, a group going here. There's quite a few groups I'd like to get going, some for veterans and different other things, but that would be a good one too. So just let me know if I can help you in any way. Okay.
Got you.
All right.
Okay, okay. Sheila.
Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. And I just want to say, for working this last decade concerning my brothers, black males, young, from the youngest to the oldest. The only thing I wanted is y'all have equal rights like everybody else. And like I said, to the day I close my eyes, that's gonna be my fate. And I know it's not gonna be easy, but the end of the day is what I believe for, that's what I die for. And I'm gonna keep on fighting a good fight. I'm gonna keep on setting laws, proposal, anything can make a change concerning our brothers. Cause like I said, they have y'all at the bottom of the list. And before I close my eyes, I would like to see y'all back at the top of the list. And I just want to say there is some of us sisters out there fighting for y'all, sitting at the tables, sitting with the Congress, sitting with Governor Cuomo, sitting with our mayors, sitting with our city council, sitting with our superintendents, our board education, you know, speaking on y'all behalf. And I know y'all don't hear us. I know y'all don't see us on TV, but we are out there doing the work and trying to bring up proposals. And we have passed some laws in our state. And the end of the day is you do your part, and we probably don't even see each other. But know it's somebody out there fighting for y'all, for your sons, for your nephews, for your cousins, for your brother, and for your fathers and uncles. And
Okay.
y'all just have a blessed evening.
Okay. Stay right there. I know that some people it's a conversation that some of us do not want to have, but I'm gonna keep on pushing it. We gotta protect the boys, the little boys and the teenagers. They have to understand that they have somebody to fight for them. And I urge men that are content creators and even women, we have to join together one way or the other to fight for our little boys. I'll start off with black men. If you believe in the brotherhood, if you believe to help the young one, you got to put yourself out there. You're going to take bruises like I did. You got to be dedicated and committed to save our little boys. You got to understand that. Black women, you say that you are the nourishers. You got to step up and save our boys. It got to happen. It got to happen. And even might not get the views or attention that it should. We got to start from somewhere. Like for me, I started in '77. and I'm still fighting to this day. That's not the only thing on my purpose, but that's part of it. I gotta fight because the evil hand is out there, and they not letting up. And also, the next time we're gonna talk about women raping little girls. We got to talk about that too. Let's talk about that the next time. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, that's also been another my topic. Um,
Yeah.
I
And
talk about too.
what I'm gonna do in community solutions, how that sound?
Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that. That happens quite a bit, and it's been a few people, famous people, that came out and said, they were inappropriately handled in that way. So it happens a lot. It really
What
does.
okay, what I'm gonna do, community solutions and Sheila, I'm gonna reach out to y'all maybe towards the end of this month or beginning of next month. I'm trying to get some more women. I know some myself in the past, and I'm gonna let you roll with it. But all I'm just saying, just make sure they stick to the conversation. If not, you let me know. I had them get out.
Yes, sir.
That's how it's gonna be.
I hear you.
So we gonna talk about that too. We still gonna hop on women raping little boys. Oh yeah, we gonna talk about that too. But I think with the women raping little girls, y'all don't think I'm gonna bring that up, huh? It does happen. You hear the two women up here, black woman, strong black woman. They say it happens. So again, black woman, when one who are content creators, when y'all gonna talk about that too? You cannot change the conversation now. Black man, you cannot change the conversation either. So until next time, I want y'all to stay. I want y'all two to stay there too. Don't go nowhere. I want y'all two to stay there. On behalf of my channel, the underrated darkness, yours true, the underrated one, the number one creator, one of the best kept secrets on YouTube. Best of the business. Believe that. Thank y'all for participating in the chat and even on the panel. I ain't doing no more live. That's it for me for the night. But I'm gonna hit y'all with the underrated boxing talk. Probably another 2 days, 2 3 days. I got some for the fam. Um, y'all have a good night. This one is Ghost.